Hi, Bonny Abomination here. Welcome to another indie gaming review. Today we'll be taking a look at the recently released Die in the Dungeon, another roguelike deck building game, but this title puts a unique spin on deck building by replacing the cards with dice. And instead of traditional battlefield, you have to strategically place these dice on a 9x9 battle board. Each turn you roll dice which represent different actions, attacking, healing, boosting dice, or even mirroring effects. But the game isn't just about lucky dice rolls. You have to think ahead, build a well-balanced dice pool, and position the dice on the board in a way that will maximize their effect. The game is turn-based, meaning you and your enemies will act in sequence, and you will have to consider what actions your enemies will be taking on their next turn and how the outcome of your actions might turn out. And since this is a roguelike, every run will be different, and if you die, that's the end of the road and you have to start over from the beginning. Dice-based combat is the heart of this game, and you don't get just a single fixed set of dice. As you progress, you'll get to modify your dice pool, adding, removing, and even upgrading dice, of which there are 4 distinct types. Red dice are for attacking, green for healing, purple for boosting others, and white dice that mirror the effects of other dice. Each of the dice can also have special properties. Some grow stronger with use, some will linger on the board for multiple turns, and some can only be used a single time per battle. The placement of each dice will determine the effectiveness of your strategy, but sometimes your rolls may just be unlucky. Dungeon crawling isn't just about fighting though, it's about adapting. The dungeon is procedurally generated, so every run will present different enemies, traps, and challenges. Enemies have their own dice-based actions, but unlike you, their moves will be predetermined and visible well before their turn, which makes each battle sort of a puzzle when you solve by considering the enemy's actions and countering them with your own dice placements. You also get the benefit of spending ability points, which will allow you to use special abilities that may give you the upper hand. Of course, it wouldn't be a roguelike game without relics, items that can grant passive bonuses or unique effects. These completely change how you can approach a run, giving you synergies that will really work in your favor, but the game doesn't let you just sit back and strategize forever. There's a looming D20 timer, your time die, that ticks down as you progress, keeping the pressure on. And the further you go, the more the dungeon will demand efficiency. There's no time for endless planning, and as you lose time, you may need to make some quick, calculated risks. I've put a couple hours into the game myself already, and while I haven't been able to get very far in any single run, I think I've experienced enough of the game to consider a few pros and cons. Like any game that relies on RNG, Die in the Dungeon can sometimes feel a little unfair. Some runs even feel a little bit doomed from the start no matter how well you play. And the biggest con for me is the lack of story. Who's the little frog knight? Why is he battling these bug creatures? And what's the lore behind this dungeon? Compelling story always enhances the game for me, and when there's one missing, it can just make the experience feel a little empty. But don't get me wrong, these drawbacks don't ruin the game for me. There's a lot to love here. The dice-based mechanics are a refreshing twist on the deck-building genre, and I've personally never played anything quite like it. Even after doing some research, I struggled to find a game that had a similar system, as most of the games I've played in this genre haven't really done anything different than the usual card format. Another thing that kept me engaged was the strategic depth that the dice placement and synergy adds to the gameplay. And as with any good roguelike, the randomly generated dungeon layouts make every run feel like unique and offers you plenty of choices on how you want to progress. No two attempts play the same, which keeps things challenging. Die in the Dungeon is a delightful mix of strategy and RNG. If you love roguelites, deck builders, or just want something different from the usual card-based formula, this one is definitely worth your time. RNG woes aside, the gameplay is tight, the mechanics are engaging, and every victory feels earned. The game was originally created for Bracky's Game Jam 2021 and launched on itch.io in February of 2021. The developer is Atico, A-T-I-C-O, and it was published by Hype Train Digital and Instinct 3. And it's recently released on Steam as of February 21st of this year. So if you're ready to roll the die, the dungeon awaits. Until next time, Bonny Abomination out. Bye.